How do you think Brexit is going? My name is Mike Cashman. Please subscribe to Britannia Waives the Rules. And of course, you may say, well, Mike, of course you're not going to say Brexit is going well, because, I wrote a book, Brexit's a Trick, Not a Treat, and then wrote a musical, Brexit's a Musical Trick. There's the book.
And what
the
have we
CD.
here, oh you closet Remainer?
Avail yourself of them.
Tyroline, tell us all, oh this we
But
beseech.
never mind what I think about how
I should
Brexit
not
is
make a claim
going.
that it's best to remain.
What
Now you
are
think you
surveys and
remain, it's a
opinion
hell of a
polls telling us about what the public and MPs think about how Brexit is going? And how does that compare with the reaction 2 years after joining the EEC in 1973? Well, the polls are pretty clear. We have a few within the last week or two. We have a running total of people who think Brexit was the right or wrong decision over the last 2 years. Fairly consistently, people have thought Brexit is the wrong decision. There was a brief period in spring 2021, I think, when the notion was being put around that we could only have done the vaccine rollout as non-members of the EU. That was fact-checked and proved to be false. Anyway, that lead for Brexit was the right decision didn't last very long. Trend overall, if we look over the last few months, is that the gap is widening. Incidentally, there was a poll of MPs as well. I will get to the public poll, but there was a poll of MPs regarding benefits of Brexit. And what did they say? A snapshot of 45 MPs, who I presume, it doesn't say this, but I presume were selected, to have a makeup proportional to the makeup of Parliament. And that survey said 52% believe that neither the UK nor the EU has benefited from Brexit. And 32% thought the UK had benefited most from Brexit. And 9% thought that the EU had benefited most. Looking into the future, 40% of responding MPs admitted they thought neither the UK nor the EU would benefit from Brexit in the long term. But that's MPs. We know that there was a majority of them in favour of remaining in the European Union, so those who supported Brexit might well turn around and say, well, I did referendum, said we should do that, but I didn't necessarily believe in it. We do know, for example, that Boris Johnson, David Frost and Liz Truss were all vocal about the benefits of the single market before they got into supporting Brexit for political reasons. And I don't place so much significance on the fact that Boris Johnson wrote 2 articles in February 2016, arguably a reasonable thing to do. But if you look at what he said earlier, he was very positive about the benefits of the single market. Now, here's a poll of 3,387 adults from the UK. The question that was asked is, in the 2 years since the UK left the European Union, to what extent, if at all, do you think the UK has benefited? And 7% said a great deal, 17% somewhat. So those are the positives. They add up to 24%. Given that the somewhat answer is there, then not very much is clearly, scarcely suggests that it was worth it. Anyway, 28% said not very much, 37% said not at all, 11% don't know. So a large majority saying not at all or not very much. But let's look at, for example, we do have Labour, we do have Lib Dem, we do have the Remain voters, which you can imagine how that would go. But I'll give you the statistics for Conservatives. Benefited a great deal, 17%, somewhat 33%. So that adds up to just 50% Conservatives. Not very much, 31%, not at all, 10% don't know. And if we even look at the Leave voters themselves, the UK has benefited a great deal, 16%, has benefited somewhat, 33%. So that adds up to just 49% in total of the Leave voters. 30% not very much, clearly disappointed, 9% not at all, 12% don't know. So we are actually 2 years on from leaving the European Union, and understandably, those are people's reactions to it. Now, at the same time, we have Johnson and Frost declaring that the deal that they signed is not up to scratch. So it's not surprising that there isn't massive public support. Plus, we have all the additional red tape. We haven't got things that we were promised, such as lower energy prices. So it's not really surprising that we see those sort of reactions. But let's just contrast them with the reactions 2 years after joining the EEC in 1973. If we look at the referendum held in 1975. To be fair, it's 2.5 years after, and also, to be fair, people might argue that we should look at this next year, and Brexit was taken out of the oven, completely cooked, supposedly. But, let's go on a further year. We look at this again in 2023. But if we take a snapshot of the moment, I've given you the views that I've found from a variety of polls, and compare them to the 1975 referendum results. Now, the vote on that occasion was more than 17 million people voted in favour of staying in the EU. A massive majority, that was 67% of the votes. So it was a 2-to-1 majority. And just look at this map. This is a map showing in different areas the percentages voting in favour of remaining in the EEC as opposed to leaving. And what you may notice is that the strength of the Remain vote varies area by area. You will see is every single area in the UK, with the exception of Shetlands and the Western Isles, but every other area voted in favour of staying in the EEC. So the positive support for that move 2 years on was overwhelming. That's not the case with Brexit 2 years after leaving the European Union. My name's Mike Cashman. Please subscribe to the channel, Britannia Waves the Rules, and you can delve further into my works, if you wish, with the books and the complete Brexit musical.
There's a doubt about her beliefs. You can guess that she still backs remaining. You can bet she'll soften the deal, that's very plain. And I know we won't like it.
Well, it's true that I spoke as Remainer. But I thought at the time that the Leave team would lose. Now I've moved to the Leave gang and no one should grieve and no one should fret. Please accept my excuse.